know about you, but as a little kid, I dreamed of living somewhere else. I dreamed of living somewhere tropical, near the beach, where the weather was always warm, where the palm trees were blowing. And I just really didn't know how to create that. I want to tell you a little story. We recently moved into the home that we've been building for the last 2.5 years here in Mexico. What's very interesting is that when you want something bad enough, when you have a dream in your heart, you're meant to fulfill it. But it takes work, it takes intention, it takes effort, it takes making decisions that are going to move you towards that dream that you want. I decided that I was going to be a hairstylist. I dropped out of university, went full-time into hair school because I wanted to be able to raise my kids. I wanted to be able to create my own schedule. What I realized in that industry is that the cost of doing business kept going up and up and up. I was making less money. It's incredibly hard on your body. You are exposed to chemicals all of the time. It messes with your hormones. It messes with how you feel on a daily basis. 11 years into that business, we thought we had it made. My husband and I were able to take the time off that we wanted. We were able to really create the life that we thought that we deserved, which meant that we could travel anytime that we wanted. 12 years ago, my husband and I probably spent 2 weeks a couple of times a year in Mexico together. We love the food, we love the culture, we love the way of life. The people are lovely. And when we were camping on the beach, there was this young couple that rocked up next to us, and we started a conversation with them. What do you do for work? Don't you have to be back at work? And they're like, no, we work online. And I was like, I don't get it. You work online? So she runs back to her camper van. She comes back and she hands me a skincare sample. I never knew what network marketing was. I had no idea what it was. And I was like, so you sell this stuff online? She's like, yeah. We sit down around the fire that night. Ryan's dad said something that really didn't sit well with me because he was right. And he said, Christina, you've built a really great salon business and it's awesome. But the problem with it is that you have no leverage. You can never, you're constantly trading dollars for hours. You can never make any more money than what you can actually make when you've got clients. And he was right. It was really frustrating for me because I had worked 14-hour days for 3 weeks leading up to the trip. And then I went home to 14-hour days for 2 weeks afterwards. So I created this sense of urgency on both sides, and I ended up making significant money on both sides. But I wasn't making any money when I was traveling. I had no income coming in. And so the reason I tell you that story is because that evening I looked at my husband and I said, we have to figure this out. We have to figure out this online thing that people are doing to find our freedom this way so that we could live anywhere in the world. And the seed was planted back then. 12 years ago, the seed was planted. And 2 months into being here, we'd just taken a little hiatus. We thought we'd be here for 3 to 6 months. We decided to sell our house. We started the immigration process and went to a Mexican consulate in our area and just asked, what do we need to do to qualify? You can't just move to a country. You have to qualify. You just have to look into the country that you're going to and see what your options are for immigration. We here in Mexico are temporary residents. We can apply next year to be permanent residents. You have to do 4 years of temporary residency before you become a permanent resident. We can also skip that line because my son was born here and become permanent residents through him and his birthright because he has dual citizenship. That was never the plan. That was a happy accident. That was like the best thing that could have ever happened to us. Isn't that interesting that years back when the seed was planted about working online that we could take that income with us? Coming down here, you have to have some sort of income that is portable, where you can look for a job down here and have some savings, but you're going to make a lot less in business when you're making a peso per day, per hour. So you're going to make a lot less down here, but you're going to spend a lot less too. The reason that I wanted to have this conversation is if any of you have those dreams of being able to live in another country, you want to be able to do something different, you're not happy where you are not a victim of your circumstance. You get to be a victor of your life. And it may not happen overnight. I told you we took that trip 12 years ago where the seed was planted. 4 years later, I got into this industry and realized that I could leverage. When I was sick, very, very sick, pregnant with my daughter, I had a really bad shoulder injury. I couldn't continue doing my job as a hairstylist. My shoulder was so bad. So I had to figure something else out. And I saw this girl on social media posting from the beach, making 5 figures a month with her kids. And I was like, I want that life. I'm willing to do anything to have that life, to be a stay-at-home mom, to be able to contribute positively to my financial well-being with my partner, and also be able to have the freedom and flexibility not to ever have to ask for time off from anybody else, to be able to dictate dictate my own schedule, to be able to pick up my daughter from school, doing this with you right now, having this conversation while my son sleeps downstairs. And then when he gets up, I get to play with him. This was my dream. This was 9 years ago now that I got into the online marketing space. I got into network marketing before I even knew what network marketing was. Now, that's not the only thing I do. Now I do online business coaching. Now I coach people in sales, because sales is a skill as well as communication, right? It's something you can learn. I love sales. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I get to teach other people how to become very successful at that so that they can have the freedom that we have too. I got into network marketing just like that girl on the beach that had the freedom to stay in Cabo and never have to leave. And she didn't have an office space to go back to. She didn't have a job to go back to. She got to decide what her life looked like. And I want to empower you to make those decisions, because you're not stuck. You might be in a career that you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't leave this career. What else would I do for work? You learn new skills, and you're at the perfect time to do that. Technology and AI are changing everything. We need to find a purpose that is bigger than ourselves and act in service. If you truly want to be happy, there's two things. You act in service, and then at your highest level, you continue to grow. That growth, that sense of accomplishment, that's what brings peace, joy, and happiness to your life. And so now I get to teach people how to do this. And if something that you've wanted to learn how to do, if it's something that you would love to learn how to leverage your time, love to learn communication and sales and leadership, and like, where do I even start? There's room for you. Don't put it off. The best time to start a business was 10 years ago, but the second best time is right now. And people need it right now. There are now 80 million people looking for something like this because a couple of different things. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of stuff online. Affiliate marketing, which people think is easier, and they want to do multiple things that they can share with people to pigeonhole themselves. They think casting a wide net is going to get them there. Not true. Small net, small focus, intentional effort. And so when you go out and you find something that you believe in, something that you can help people with, you can go out and build a business based on that in helping other humans. An online business is going to give you the freedom and flexibility to be able to live anywhere in the world. And that's exactly how we moved to Mexico. It's how we qualify, how we make money down here. It's something that is integrated into our life. So whether we're having a beach day or a day at home, or we go out yachting, or we're traveling, travel is my love language, and I get to do that for work now. I get to go to masterminds where I get to talk business with people and come up with new ideas and strategies and systems. And really, if you're self-motivated, if you're somebody that is looking to find freedom in a way that doesn't bog you down and you want options, this is one of the best ways to do it. And I'd be happy to mentor you. I'd be happy to show you exactly what I do in that space, what I sell, how I help people, how I've taken my knowledge and put it in a box and monetized it so that I can help other people win online too. You have the ability to do all of that. And most people count themselves out before they even start. And so if you are somebody that has been curious about living abroad, somebody that wants to learn how to make income online, please make sure that you connect with me and we, shoot me a DM and let's have a conversation about it, because you can't get there unless you start. And the only way to get there is one foot in front of the other, And it's just bricklaying, brick by brick, figure it out. Challenge, overcome the challenge, get better, learn a new skill. All of these things, which I wish that I had understood in the beginning. It's not about the end goal and the success at the end. It's about who you become in the process. And if I could infuse people with that knowledge, you get to become whoever you want to be in this life. You get to co-create with the universe and with God on how you want to live and where you want to live and how you want to raise your family and the marriage that you're in and the friends that you have. And you get to decide. But you have to consciously choose, because if you don't, your subconscious, which runs in fear, which runs in question, will not make those decisions for you. So you have to train your brain to continue to seek other options, seek solutions. But what if the unknown was better than you thought? And you spent some time digging into it and researching and looking and figuring out what you could do to make money, what you could do to raise your family in a different way, and how that might appeal to people around you. But it won't happen if you don't start. We can start taking steps forward and building the life we actually want versus the one that we feel like we've got. And so if you need something different, if you want something different, you have to be willing to do something different. I'm encouraging you to make the moves. I'm encouraging you to take action. I'm encouraging you to do something different, because guess what? You can sit here, hope, dream, wish, and pray, but nothing's going to happen until you start to do it. So I hope that's helpful for you guys today. If there's anything that I can do to help you move the needle forward, if you're curious, if you're ready to find your freedom and you're sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck and having to say no to things that you cannot afford, no to holidays, no to the expensive organic food at the grocery store, and no to the new outfit that you want or the car that you want, it's never about what other people want. It's about what you want. And are you able to truly live the way that you want? So hope that's helpful for you today. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again next time.